Hi, guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home top, past, present, and exciting future, of course, on the Thomas Frank as we head to Monaco, the home of the rich and famous, as we go and take on Monaco in the latest round of the Champions League. And look, it hasn't been a great sort of thing since Sunday, has it? We've been a little bit jabbing at each other a little bit. Not happy with Frank, bit boring with the football. Yeah, I can understand that. I can really understand that. Really can. But how are we all today? And I hope we're doing well. We've got a big game coming up on Wednesday in the Champions League. It's an important game in the Champions League as well. It's a game where we need to pick up a point. We need to pick up a win. But it is Monaco. Anything can happen in Europe, but we need a win. I think we need a win on Wednesday to give us a chance of qualifying within the top 8. Anything else, then I think it's going to be not great. It's going to be disastrous in my view, but that's just my opinion. A lot of people will disagree with me. A lot of people will say, you're not right. A point away from home is great. I don't think so. I think you need more than a point on Wednesday. Look, if you are watching this on X or if you are watching this on YouTube, do get involved. Do get your comments in the sections. Let me know what you think about. This is for your members as well, which I'm now considering putting out to non-members because no members are in watching at the moment, apart from people on X. So big up X World. Hope you're all doing well. Let me just see. Let me put this out to members only, members, fans. Just give us. So yeah, that's been put out. How are you all guys? Let me know what you're saying. Look, I want to talk a little bit about the Villa game. I want to finish off with the Villa game if I can, and the disappointment I think I felt after the game. I know we were talking about it last night, me and Tequila. And Tequila made a very good point. Are we sort of over egging ourselves? Are we over egging the team at the moment? Is the team as good as we thinks it is? And I think he's got a point. If you look at the players that we've got playing within the squad, let's take Vicario back. Take Vicario, right? Great goalkeeper. Does make a few clangers. We've had him a couple of this season, but generally he's been in good form. You can't blame him for the goals on Sunday. I don't think you can. Maybe his positioning could have been a little bit better, but he goes into this game on Wednesday, I think, full of confidence that he can do a job for us. Back four's okay. Back four, it is what it is. No Romero. We know no Romero for this, and no Udogie either. That will be coming up later, guys. When I do after the presser as well, we'll go over Thomas Frank's press conference. So there will be a video, a live out later. I think I'm putting it out about 10 tonight, guys. It gives me time to put together the show and go over the press conference with you guys. Also, there will be a predicted lineup video, and I'm going to do that, record that after this show, actually, and get that out if I can for you guys. I may put it out for first thing in the morning, guys. So for you guys waking up on match day, your first thing you see is the predicted lineup, and let me know what you think of that. It's been very difficult with the predicted lineup, actually. Who do you pick? Who do you don't pick? Because Tails are legible. We've got up to 10 players out for this game as well. But you know, it is interesting. It is going to be fun. Just let me change this. This is not working. Put all this effort in for members, and no members turn up. Where are you guys? Might as well leave it to this. No, I do not want to leave, but I do want that. Okay. But yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I'm not my usual self, to be fair. I don't know why. Just put all this. Yeah. Hang on. Let me change something, guys. Just let me change this on here. Where's live? Right. Okay. Public. There we go. Now we're going to cook Diesel. There we go. We're now out to the wider world. I've changed it from from members to a non-members now. Maybe get a bit more interaction in the chat. And sometimes these shows need interaction from you guys, especially if doing solo shows. I haven't got Tequila to bounce off or James to bounce off. I'm doing these solo, and sometimes solo shows are great, but you need the people in the chat. So RNX, get over, get your comments in. They do come up within the comment section of the show. Now, going to Monaco for me is an important time of the season. We're in the middle of 7 games in sort of 22 days at the club. We've got Monaco tonight. We've got Everton away on Sunday at 4:30. Then we've got Newcastle away next week as well. We've got then the Saturday. Then we've got I think it's Chelsea at home. Let me just double check. Let me jump text. Let's see now. Yeah. We've got Newcastle away. Then on the Wednesday, we've got Chelsea at home on the Saturday, which is a 5:30 kickoff. And that is a belter. That is a game I do not want to lose. The next 3 Premier League games, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose against Chelsea. Do not want to lose at home against Manchester United. And then on the 23rd of November, we have the North London derby. But in between that, we've got a League Cup game. We've got 2 Champions League games as well. And then we're away to Newcastle on the 2nd December. I'm going to the Brentford game on the 6th of December. So yeah, there's a few games coming up in the next sort of 6 weeks, but it's going to be interesting. What do we do tonight, guys? What do we do? What do we want for tomorrow night? Please tell me. What do we want for tomorrow night? Remember to take your meds. This is a hologram speaking. Yeah, big up to you, Jarvis. Yeah, it wasn't really working on the members show. That's why I've now put it out live to everyone, because no members turned up, the buggers. Left me there talking to myself. But big up to you, Jarvis. If you want to pop on and be a hologram with me, you're more than welcome. You know you can. Let's have a look. I want to go and look right at Tottenham's last 5. No, not that one. I don't want that one. That's the wrong one. Take me that off. There we go. Big up to your WhatsApp kid. Big up. Hope you're doing well. He says, what's up? Big up. Still on member. Still on member. At least it was. Oh, there we are. Yeah, I had to change it. No members turned up. It was like you put it out, you're advertising members, and no members turn up. Members, where are you? Tottenham's last 5 games in all competitions. If you look at it, right, it's only 1 defeat in the last 5. But I think you have to take it game by game, how well we played and how well we haven't played. If you look at Doncaster, we're expected to win that. We made heavy work of that game, to be fair. The 1-1 draw with Wolves, nowhere near good enough. Wolves relegation fodder, looking to go down, and we can't even scrape a win there against a bad Wolves side. You go away to Bodo. Look, a lot of people have complained about the Bodo, but Tequila made a very good point last night. Bodo have an exceptional home record in the Champions League in Europe this season. And yes, we did go there last season and beat them 2-0. Yes, 5-1 overall over the 2 games. We went down to 2 sloppy goals. We went down 2-0 down. And to be fair, we should never have gone out of that game with a draw. We should have been 4-0 down by the time we got our first go back. If they scored the penalty and took their other chances, we could have lost that 4-2. You look at Leeds, I think Leeds is the best performance. Best performance to me out of the last 5. I don't know what people think, but I think out of the last 5 games, I think Leeds was a really good performance. Take a hike, Jarvis. I turned him off. Don't turn Jarvis off. I need him to make my Iron Man suit. And then, of course, you got the defeat at the weekend to Aston Villa. So Tottenham, look, you look at that, 1 defeat in the last 5. You're thinking, do you know what? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. When you look at it game by game, and you rarely take one game at a time and look at them games and look how we played in them games, it tells a very different story. It tells a very different story, in fact, to how we played, how we come out of the game, we did a lot more wrong than right. And if you can say Leeds was the only decent performance out of the five, then we have serious problems. Now, is that down to tactics? Probably not. And also in Europe, we also got to remember this is Thomas Frank's first European campaign as manager. He's managing at the top level of European football. Now, you can say we've got to win and we've got to draw. We're not doing too bad. Um, I, to me, we were very lucky to beat Villarreal. We were very ordinary that night. We went away to Bodo. Should have beaten Bodo, by the way, but didn't because we were downright awful. And I think also, if you look back at the Bodo game as well, we played Johnson. We played Johnson and Odegaard the wings, and I think we failed that night. I think he got that wrong. But I think he has to learn. As long as he's learning from these mistakes, then I think he will be. But I think he's got to learn. Let's go into the chat, see what people are saying. As I said, that's what I love about these. I love the people getting involved. We've got Nightmare Kids saying Bodo should have been beaten and Wolves. Yeah, but think about it, Nightmare Kid, right? We should have been 4-0 down in that game against Bodo. If Bodo scored the penalty and they took their chances in the first half, then with 2-0 down, then they scored the 2 goals the second half, we're 4-0 down. So, I think in hindsight, to come out with the draw, yes, it showed fighting spirit. Yes, we got away with one. But I feel that was 3 points dropped. I rarely do. I think in Champions League, you've got to win. You've got to win early. You've got to win your early games because you have got difficult games coming up in the later sections of the league phase. And if you don't win your early games, then you're going to be struggling. You're going to be looking at a playoff place. And do you really want playoff places in January? No, you don't. And as for Wolves, yeah, we all know we should have beaten Wolves, but we haven't beaten Wolves in the last 5 games. But this is the worst Wolves side we played. So I don't know if it's the pressure playing at home. It's getting to them. I don't know if the tactics that Thomas Frank is using is not suiting the home form. It's more suiting our away form. I think you have to be a bit more attacking playing at home personally. But if he's not, then I don't know. Big up to the kid. Vicario's rubbish. His position for the Villa goal. Look, we could complain about Vicario all we want, but I think in hindsight, I think you got to look apart from Vicario. There was other players that didn't do their job, didn't close down. So it's okay, Vicario getting all this heat. Yes, he's made mistakes. Yes, he's made blunders. But if you look at the stats, you go into the numbers, he's the 3rd or 4th best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. So every keeper makes blunders, and no keeper is perfect. You can't tell me that, say, a prime Peter Schmeichel would have saved them 2 goals against Villa that they scored at the weekend. I doubt it. So I can understand people being frustrated with Vicario. I think also sometimes people can go over the top with their criticism. And also with Kingsley, I know you asked about Kingsley as well. Kingsley has regressed in training. So why would you play somebody that's regressed? You wouldn't pick anyone that's regressed. It's pointless because you got a keeper coming in with no confidence. Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper, but has he really proven that he's a ready keeper to take over from Vicario and become Tottenham's number 1? In my book, no. We need to address this next summer. This goalkeeping issue, really do. Big up to you, Guy. We've got Tequila. We have to accept, at least for this season, we're better soaking up pressure and trying to nick a goal. I would agree with that. Goal, not what I want from a Spurs team, but this is our team for the year. I think so. Look, you can change it in January, Tequila. You know you can. But you can't change everything in January. And January is such a hard window to deal in anyway. So what do? You're going to have to, it's going to be a long season. Whatever anyone's saying about it, it's going to be a hell of a long season. I know. And I think you're right as well when you said there'd be more draws than wins. And I think you're right. Roll on away games. I guess, yeah, exactly. We do better away from home than we do home. I think Frank is still learning how to beat to be the protagonist instead of the antagonist against the. I get what you mean. I think he is. I think he. And look, I said it before, and I say it again. And I'm going to stand by this. You have certain pressures managing Brentford, right? Your job at Brentford is keep staying in the Premier League. That is your main target. At the start of every season, your target is to stay in the Premier League. When you come to a club like Tottenham, your main target is to win a trophy and get top four. That is your minimum is getting top four. Maximum is winning a trophy as well. So I feel there's different pressures of managing different clubs. But if it's going to take you a while to get used to that pressure. I think that's what you're getting about. I hope it is, because I think he's learning how to manage at a bigger club. I really do. Big up to Tequila says Kingsley so overrated by Spurs fans. Do you know what? I think I have to agree with you in one way on that. I do. Um Kingsley's good goalkeeper. Is he going to be top level goalkeeper? I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. I really, really doubt it. It's for me. I think Kingsley's going to have to. For me, Kingsley's going to have to learn, train, and just take it easy. We just got some breaking news from Last Word on Spurs. Michael Bridges as well. Well, we knew this anyway, that Tottenham Hotspur defenders Christian Romero and Destiny Udogie are not in first team training ahead of Tottenham. Well, we knew that a couple of hours ago. Champions League game. So they are both out of the game, both defenders. They're just minor injuries, so they should be back for the game against Everton on Sunday. A big blow for us. It is a massive blow, I think. Nightmare Kid says the sit back and counter is not work. I agree with you. It's not working. We have no players with the end product, and that is the problem. It's our forward line, and we're going into these Champions League games, especially tomorrow against Monaco, where we haven't had a good record against Monaco. I actually show you the last times we've played Monaco in Europe, twice in the Champions League, twice in Europa League. We've only beaten them once in our last 4 games against them in Europe in 2 major competitions. We lost 2-1 to them at their ground in the Champions League. These was way back in 2016, I think. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. We lost to them at home, and they did the double us over us. That in that group stage, when it was a group stage. So they beat us at home, they beat us away. We did beat them in the Europa League, but we drew 1-1 away in their ground. Their ground is a very tight, small, sort of really. Monaco is a really small stadium. But yeah, only 1 win out of our last 4 against them. It is not a great record. And if you look away from home, we haven't even beaten them on their ground. Was it 2 defeats, 1 win and 1 draw? We're dreadful against them. We really are dreadful again. And I'm worried about tomorrow night. I'm worried about them tomorrow night. I'm worried about the way we're setting up. We haven't got Romero. We haven't got Destiny Udogie. We might have to play we will have to play Kevin Danso and Van der Ven again. And I don't think I think that partnership for me is worrying, because I don't think it's good enough to really keep a clean sheet. It doesn't fill me with confidence. It really doesn't. It's the midfield. I think it's got to be really strong. Let's see what guys are saying. If Kingsley's getting game time, how will we know if he's good? Look, we don't see him in training. I think that's the problem. We don't see in training what they're like. And if it's come out that he's regressing in training, how do you put him in to a game if he's not shown it in training that he's capable of playing under pressure in a game? How's Kingsley? It's not worth it. Just stick with Vicario, in my view. Defense is the strongest part of our team by far, so no choice. Yeah, I know, but I'm not confident with the defense tomorrow, again. I'm really not confident. I'm not too confident with Vicario, but when it comes to set pieces and long shots, I do feel Vicario has an awful lot to. He's still a good goalkeeper. He's still a very, very good goalkeeper. He's better than Kingsley. So he is going to he's still got to he's still a better option. No, he's not proven anything. He hasn't proven it. Kingsley hasn't proven anything yet, and that's the thing. But if you're not showing it in training, how can you be picked? It's a bit like Brennan Johnson, like him as well. I guarantee he will get in the predicted lineup, and I will give you a clue. I have started him in my predicted lineup. The only reason I've started him is to give Kudu a rest, because I think Kudu needs a rest. But I'm not. Our front three's wank. We all know it is. We need Vatovic and Alahala goalkeeper and Lookman. I agree with you. I'd say 2 out of the 3, but definitely one of them on loan, 2 of them on loan, with an option to buy. I think in January would be really good. Big up to Adam McFarlane. Hope you're doing well. He says, "I'm sorry to say, but I think we'll lose the next 4." Do you know what? I think you could be right. I hope not. I hope you're wrong. I hope we get a result tomorrow night. I hope we get a result away to Everton. But when you've got Chelsea and Newcastle away, then not easy, not here. I can hear that. That's the thing, isn't it, Tequila? It's shocking. I mean, look, we all have a giggle about Ange, right? And we'll have a giggle about Ange, right? And it's just who we are, mate, and all this, right? And he only lasted 8 games at Forest. Now we all know their owner's a bit. He's not the full shilling, but you know it is what it is. And managers now are more under pressure to get results early than they've ever been. And I think that is the problem. We accept or expect success now, where we were willing to give managers time to get in, get the philosophy across, get the players to read, and then go for it. We want it now because we've been starved of success for so long. Yes, by winning the Europa League, it's whetted their appetites. But I think me and Tequila both agree in this. Saying people want Thomas Frank out now after 7 games in the Premier League, he's only been in the job since June. Give the man a chance, like crying out loud. We ain't getting top 4 for a long time. Look, the Premier League is funny. If you told me, if you look at the whole Premier League in the whole, and I'm not saying I'm not going to stay here and say, look, we're getting top 4. I'm not saying that, but if you look at the Premier League, everyone's beating everyone. The only one that's consistent at the moment, sadly to say, is Arsenal. But they're playing the most boring football. And maybe the Premier League, Jamie O'Hara said last night, the Premier League's boring. I think that's suiting Arsenal down to a T. And I think no team's really showing great form. And we're definitely not. But everyone's struggling, but we're still 6th. We're only 2 points off second place. We're only, I think, 4 points off Arsenal. So you could very quickly, a couple of wins on the bounce, or a couple of good results on the bounce, you're back up the top fighting again. So look, I'm not saying we are going to get top 4. I think it'd be stupid to rule it out, because you could have one of those seasons where you could get it. I understand where you're coming from. You don't think we're going to get it for a long time. I think you get the right players in, you can make a jump on some of these clubs in the Premier League. I really believe that. And it's not the Premier League. There's no one team that's really dominating. Everyone is beating everyone. And I think that makes it an interesting season as well. Makes it a long season for us, because we're going to have good games, bad games, and in the different. But it does show that we can be thereabouts. If you're thereabouts with about 10 games to go, then I think, why not? Why not? But look, why not dare to dream we can get top 4? What's the harm in dreaming and saying we're going to get top 4 this season? What's the harm of that? Yeah, you probably get called you're deluded, or probably get told you don't know what you're talking about. But I don't give a fuck. I say how I see it. And I think we can. I think if you're thereabouts, we get our home form sorted out and we keep this away form that we've got going. I think, why not? Why not? Dare to dream. Aren't we? It's the motto, today is to do, today is the dream. Why not? We're not going unless he plays more minutes. I think it's there. S yeah, I'm getting to your point in a minute, Tequila. I do. I'm about to give you a big up on that, by the way. I did see it. SARS should be starting up with Bentoncourt. Find out later, Benny, if is he in my starting lineup. Injured again. Yeah, I know. Romero but I think he'd be back for the Everton game on Sunday. So keep up for that. Big up to Tequila. I agree with you, man. I hold my hands up. I hold my hands up. You were right. I was wrong. You were right. He says, Dermo, gonna regret not getting another. You did tell me, and I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't listen. So, man, I tip my hat off to you. You were spot on. You've been saying it all summer. We should have got another fullback, and you're right. You are definitely right. We can't keep asking Spence to play both things. Well, then Spence gets injured. If you lose Spence and you lose, say, your doggy and Spence, then you've either got Porro. Ben Davis is out injured with a muscle injury. So how long is he going out for? So who do you play there at left back? Archie Gray? Archie Gray isn't the left back, but as you said last night, and I do totally agree with you, Tequila, that we don't know where Archie Gray's best position is. And you're coming up to a game tomorrow night, a really important Champions League game, and we've got 10 players out injured. Now, it's just really worrying. It's just so worrying at the moment. Big up to Nightmare Kid. We're buying other B team players like Tell and Odobart. They're not good enough to be starters. And please sell Richarlison now and Tell also Vicario. I'm going to disagree with you with Vicario. I'm going to stick by him. And we will, I think, I will speak to Colin, who is a goalkeeper. And we may do a show on Vicario just to go into the numbers and go into the stats of why I will do a video on why I'm sticking by Vicario. I may get Colin if he's got time off to come on and join me for that. I may do that as a pre-record just to put in a few stats and numbers to back up why I think Vicario needs backing. I agree with you with Richarlison. I think selling Tell now is we should have got him in on loan. I've said this, me and Tequila both said this at the time. We should have got him on loan. We should have got him on a 6-month loan, a season loan with the option to buy. We should have saw enough of him at the end of last season to say he wasn't good enough. And I think this is where, and I said it last night on another show, this is where Daniel Levy's transfer market and transfers, the way that he does his transfers has come to bite his back in the ass. Because tomorrow night we're going away in the Champions League. Now Tell is not eligible for the Champions League, but we're looking at starting Brennan Johnson and Odegaard. For me, are not Champions League players. They're not even Europa League players. I think they're more Conference League players. And we're starting with them two. And Xavi possibly in the middle. Or you put Papasar in the middle and Xavi on the left. Do you know, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it, tomorrow night? But look, they may turn around and get a good result tomorrow night. So hopefully that will be the set. Where we're going. Big up Steve D as well. Bloody hell, negative Nancy's. No wonder I don't watch it. I'm not being negative here. You know me. I'm far from negative, Steve D. I am far from negative. Me and Tequila are the most non-negative fans on YouTube. You know that. It says, Nancy, no wonder I don't watch YouTube these days. Frank has worked wonders getting us organized. He can't polish a turd. He needs help up front. I am on board. Look, I am on board with Thomas Frank. I said it beforehand. Before we got Ange, I want the Thomas Frank in. But you got to back him right with the players. If you don't back him right with the players, Steve, then you don't get the results you need. And I think this is years of Daniel Levy's pussyfooting around, going down the youth road with no real option, with no real organization, with no real sort of end game. This is where we're going to end up on it. And it's come to bite us back in the arse. I do believe that. I really do believe that. If we get Tech 4, I will get Dermo to do a show in his underwear. No, I am not doing that. Uh, right, where are we? We've got big up. I'm going to say Danso is trash. He ain't red. Oh, we can't be slagging off all the team. There is some decent players in this team. We can't be slagging them off all the time. I just, yeah, 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 I get it. I get it. Replace Sun. That is the problem, isn't it? We're going through the Kane and Sonny sort of downward spiral. I think that's the problem. That is the problem, and I agree with you on that. Remember, we were led to believe Frank as a Levy signing. Your mates Vinny and Vitermo might want their own bloke in charge. Do you know what? It wouldn't shock me, actually, to be fair. And I think you're right on that. Is Thomas Frank their man? And that's a very good point. It is Thomas. How? I mean, Steve D's right. He's worked wonders, right? And he's really made us more organized, more tactically better to play against. But we just need better forward line to finish these chances we're creating. But how long do the Lewis board give Thomas Frank? Are they going to be as patient as Levy probably would be? That's a very good point. Do you know what? If we're on a show again this week, Tequila, I want to talk about that because that is a very good point, actually. I won't say Frank out, but he's on fraud watch for me. I don't think so, but look, everyone to their opinion. If we get to, no, you're not. You're not getting me that. That is how likely that would be. I'm not going down that route, Tequila. We buy other academy players and send our I know. I don't get it either. Ashley Phillips for me should be in the squad. Mikey Moore should be in and around the first team squad. Who else? Donnelly as well should be in the first team squad. Gray for me is the only choice. Yeah, maybe so. Or VDV on the left. See, he can play left as well, Van der Ven. Yeah, so that's but who do you play in centre back then, Tequila? If you say you've got Romero out, and then you really are struggling, aren't you? Because we know Dragonson is injured. So I get it. We gave Ange a chance and we finished 17th. We finished 17th, man, not 15th. I wish we did finish 15th, but we didn't. I can't watch another Ange show. I am back in Frank, but he needs to do better. I think so. Only crazy Greek owners give managers 8 games. I'm still very much back in the manager, but I don't expect that much from him anyway. Big up to Les Known. He says this year at least we have rotation options like last year we had Dave. Yeah, Major, that's so true. That is so true. This is nightmare. Kids lineup. I've gone for Gario and goal. Porro Van der Ven, Danso Spence, Palunia Bergville, Xavi Kudos, Odebar, Moro. Do you know what? That is a very good shout for up front. I wasn't impressed with Colo. I haven't been impressed with him, maybe because he isn't fit. I don't know. I really don't know, but that's not a bad lineup. I would change a few things. I would drop. I would rest Palunia, put Bentancur in there, Bergville, and probably put Sar. Bentancur as a 6, Sar as an 8. Bergville as an 8, Sar as a 10. I wouldn't play Kudos. I would rest Kudos because we need him for Sunday. Odebar. Probably put Xavi on the left, Johnson on the right, and Morani up front. I would think that's not a bad lineup. Apart from that, I would check it. Right, guys, if you are watching the game tomorrow, this is where you can watch it around the world. In UK and Ireland, it's on TNT. Let me get my teeth in. It's on TNT Sports 3. It's also, I think it's on Virgin Media in Ireland as well, but definitely in UK and Ireland. If you haven't got Virgin Media, it's on TNT Sports. In America, it's on Paramount Plus. In New Zealand, it's on DAZN. In Australia, it's on Stan Sport. And in South Africa, it's on Super Sport. Anyone watching from South Africa? Hello? There you go. You can watch it on Super Sport. Guys, that is your pre-game thoughts. Not really much for pre-game thoughts. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I sort that. I'll send you the login details. Don't worry. Yeah, it wasn't really much for pre-game thoughts. It was more of a pre-game rant and going through your talk, really, and talking to you and going off your questions, which I kind of enjoyed doing actually. Yes, predicted lineup video out tomorrow morning. There will be tonight at 10. There will be a new show. There will be after the presser. We're trying to do every game now, where we go over Thomas Frank's press conference. That is about in an hour, I think. So we will get the latest on that. Any other news coming from that, we will bring it to you, like, and we'll discuss it. So join me at 10 for that. Tomorrow we do have the watch along. Of course, we've got the pre-record out in the morning predicted lineup. We've got then the watch along from 7:15. Join me and James as we bring you Monaco versus Spurs. I'm with Tottenham TV tomorrow night, so join me over there at 6:30, guys. Then over the watch along match reactions, and then there will be the player rating show on Thursday at 2. Of course, we've got Thursday at 4 for the player rating show. 1 o'clock, we've got the me and Dave's Irish Lads Talk Spurs show. So that's going to be interesting. We've got the, I think 4 or 5, we've got the playing waiting show. And then at 8 o'clock, then we've got after the presser as well. Go over his, I may put it into one show. I don't know yet, but there will be something out Thursday evening. Friday, we've got your pregame, all your Friday night news. I think I'm on there'll be no show Friday, as there will be, I'll be on the Manchester United agenda on Friday night, and then Saturday, all your pre-game thoughts, and late in the day, and then Sunday morning, predicted lineup for the Everton game, and then we start all the kickoff for the Everton game as well, with before the whistle, watch long, and then afterwards it will be instant match reaction. So join us for that, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you can. Really would appreciate it if you can do that for me on our march. We've got over the 2,200. So yeah, come on, let's go for 2,300. Let's get the 3K as quickly as possible. Do also pick up your memberships, please. 99 cents if you can. And I forgot to do my housekeeping. Also, guys, do pick up our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access. The link is in the description below in this on this stream. €45 for 2 years plus 4 months free on top of that. They are our channel sponsor for the 25-26 season. Please do hit that link in the description below. It helps them. It also, we get a little bit out of it as well. But guys, thank you for watching. It started off as a member show. No members turned up. You've all turned up now. I was talking to myself there for a while. That's why I put it out to live, guys, to get more interaction. But guys, thank you all for watching. Come on, you Spurs. And Thomas Frank, we trust. We never stop. We are going to Monaco, and we're going to win, baby. We're going to win well. See you later. Goodbye.